Good morning, boys and girls. I hope that you are having a fantastic Thursday. Well, we are on session 3 today, so that means that we are going to continue to refine our ideas about partitioning shapes into halves, thirds, and fourths. So when I say the word partitioning, I mean segmenting or cutting shapes into equal parts. And I hope that we've had enough practice on halves, thirds, and fourths. So remember halves, when I had half a donut, I give one, you segment it or partition it into 2 equal parts. Give half of the donut to my sister and half a donut to me. Hopefully you're super honest. Thirds, we partition a shape, or let's just say we partition a pizza into thirds. So that means you're partitioning it into 3 equal parts. And when we have fourths, I see the word four in fourths. We are partitioning that pizza into 4 equal parts. So we're going to continue using these ideas and what we know to solve some problems. So our learning target for today is we're going to continue to partition circles and rectangles into 2, 3, and 4 equal shares. So the key word is equal. 2, 3, 4. Halves, thirds, fourths. Are you ready? I'm ready. Here we go. All right, we're going to apply it. So let's see. Compare. Which circle is divided into thirds? Explain. So I'm looking at A over here, and I'm looking at B right over here. And you might say, Miss Yanis, they are both thirds. But remember, partitioning means equal. Equal. So let's see. Is A equal or is B equal? So remember, in order for a shape to be a third, it must be partitioned into 3 equal parts. I can't stress that enough, equal. So let's look at A and B. So let's think, which one do you think is partitioned into 3 equal parts? A or B? Hold it in your mind, A or B. You are correct. The A is partitioned into 3 equal parts, and we call that thirds. If I look at B, yes, it's 3 parts, but these 2 outside shares don't look the same as in the middle. So therefore, it's not a third because it is not equal. Do you see that? Explain, explain. And if I look at these, 1, 2, 3, thirds, 3, they are all equal, my friends. And we had practice yesterday partitioning a circle into thirds, so that one should have rang a little bell in your brain. All right, and we just explained that. So boys and girls, remember, at any time you may pause the video. That's always a good practice to pause the video. Number 2, draw. Divide the squares in half 2 different ways. So you need to cut them in half 2 different ways. Okay, annotating. Make the halves of one square different shapes than the halves of the other shape. So they're saying we got to cut it in half, but it needs to be different than the first one. Okay, so you're going to do the squares first, cut them in 2 different ways. Make the halves of one square different shapes than the halves of the other squares. So half, what does half mean? You're right, cut it into 2 parts, right? And then you're going to challenge yourself. Oh, there you go. There's one way you can do a half. What's a different way that you can partition that square? Okay, that's your job right now. So pause the video. What's another way, a different way to partition that shape a different way? Oops. Okay, so then it says, try doing the same with the circles. What do you notice? So you're going to do the same exact thing right over here with the circles. I didn't do anything with the circles because it's your job to do the same thing with just a different shape. So we had practice yesterday with circles and squares in yesterday's lesson. So I want you to really try to partition those shapes in half 2 different ways. two different ways. Remember, they need to be, what's my favorite word right now? Equal. So go ahead and pause the video now. And then you're going to tell me, what do you notice? Go grab a stuffed animal or go over to your dog. And I want you to tell your dog or your stuffed animal or your cat or your goldfish, what do you notice about the two different shapes? Pause this video, please. All right, number 3. Ooh, do you see my grilled cheese sandwich? They look like two, what shapes? Triangles. Look, if you put them together, what does it make? A square. All right, explain. Carlo, hey, I have a Carlo in my class. Carlo and Abe buy the same sandwich. What do they buy? The same sandwich. Okay, exactly the same. Carlo's sandwich is cut in thirds. So your brain should be thinking thirds, thirds, thirds. What's thirds? Oh, what's thirds, thirds, thirds? Abe's sandwich is cut into fourths. Okay, you should be thinking what's a fourth? Which sandwich has smaller pieces? Okay, right now think. Carlo's sandwich is cut into thirds. Abe's sandwich is cut into fourths. Okay, which sandwich has smaller pieces? And there's that explain. Well, let's look first. Which one has smaller pieces? Let's look first at Carlo's sandwich. There's a sandwich. Let's pretend it's a sandwich. It's cut into thirds. Okay. And here is my friend Abe's sandwich cut into fourths. Which sandwich has smaller pieces? So I want you to look at Carlo's sandwich. And I want you to look at Abe's sandwich. Which one has smaller pieces? And you're going to tell me why. So go grab that dog, goldfish, stuffed animal, cat, and explain to them which one has more pieces. So the way I think about it is, do you want a piece of Carlo's sandwich or do you want a piece of Abe's sandwich? Which one is smaller? The one that you don't want, why don't you want that one? Pause this video and explain which sandwich has smaller pieces. And explain. And finally, apply it. The very last one, I love pizza. Raise your hand if you love pizza. Okay, good. I love pizza. Shara and her mom make 3 pizzas for a party. 1, 2, 3. So there's 2 parts. Shara will have 10 people at the party. Draw how Shara could cut each pizza in halves, thirds, or fourths to get exactly 10 pieces of pizza. So there's 3 pizzas, there's 10 people. You can cut them into halves, thirds, or fourths. So you can choose which ones you want to cut it, which way you want to partition the pizza. But look at the last sentence. To all people to get exactly 10 pieces of pizza in all. So you need to make sure that when you partition these shapes, you get 10 pieces of pizza. So you can choose to cut them in halves, thirds, or fourths. So let's see. Go ahead and pause the video. I want you to try to get 10 pieces of pizza, partitioning them in halves, thirds, or fourths, whichever ones make 10 pieces of pizza in all. All right, so let's see. The first one, I did in half, that's 2 pieces. Then I'm going to cut it into fourths, that's 4 pieces. I know 10 minus 4 is 6, so I need 6 more pieces. Well, here's this next pizza. Is that equal? No, so I cannot partition it like that because it is not equal. So now I have thirds, so I have fourths and thirds, and 4 plus 3 is 7. So how many more pieces do I need? 7. I'm going to count up to 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. So I need 3 pieces. So I'm going to cut this next pizza into thirds. 2, 3. So let's see. Thirds equal. This one's thirds equal. Equal parts. Equal parts. Equal parts. So I follow the first set of directions. Now I need to double check if these partitions equal 10 pieces of pizza. Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job, Miss Giannis. Kiss your brain. Kiss your brain. And if you did it differently, go grab your animal or your stuffed animal and explain to them how you solved the first part of the problem. Part B, guess what? That is your job. You are going to Shara ask more people to the party. Now there are 12 people. Show how Shara could cut each pizza into halves, thirds, or fourths to get exactly 12 pieces of pizza in all. So the first one that we did together, there was 10 pieces. This next one, there are 12 pieces. So here's what I want you to do. Pause this video, partition these pizzas into equal parts, but you need 12 pieces of pizza in all. All right, my friends, great job. Go back to the video. Push pause, push play, go back to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's video if you need more help. Get it, got it? Great job. This video made me hungry.